Ladies, gents and teddy bears, Ted and I are at Twyford Wood and travel back in time to RAF North Witham. It was once home to the United States Army Air Force and where North Witham was designated to the Air Force as Station 479. Station 479 was built in 1943 with Class A configured runways. Now, Class A runways are a set of 3 runway strips built in the triangular configuration with hardened concrete runways. Just a couple of hours before midnight on the 5th of June 1944, the troops of the 82nd and the 101st Airborne Divisions waited for their mission to Normandy, ready to launch a top-secret, monumental and extremely dangerous pre-invasion strike before D-Day began. With months of training, their secret mission was to position the Rebecca, Eureka, radar and signalling beacons. These had to be positioned behind enemy lines and on that battlefield. The Rebecca Eureka radio system was exactly like the transponder and SSR communication, like the aircraft sending out its signals to the secondary surveillance radar and replying back, kind of like I am here signals. Now, this system was a short-range radar radio navigation system to assist the dropping of airborne forces and their supplies. The Rebecca system was the airborne transceiver and antenna system which calculated the range to the Eureka based on the timing of its return signals. The Eureka was a ground-based system and was the transponder, and if I may, it is a Greek word pronounced Eureka, which actually means I have found it. Rebecca comes from the phrase recognition of beacons. The Pratt & Whitney R1830 twin Wasp engines of the C-47s started around 2100 local, one after the other as their 14-cylinder piston engines started to purr. Louder and louder the noise got as each C-47 was fired up. Lieutenant Colonel Joel Crouch and his brave crew took off from Station 479 using what was then runway 30. His was the first to depart of the 20 aircraft from North Witham that very night, heading south of Normandy. This was no ordinary mission, as on board the 9th Troop Carrier Command's Pathfinder School carried 200 specially trained elite Pathfinder paratroopers of the 82nd and the 101st Airborne Divisions, who would have skimmed the waters of the channel to fly underneath the detection of enemy radar. often expressed the importance of the weather for specific missions and bombing raids, which played a major part in combat. But I have also expressed the importance of the moon. On the night of the 5th of June 1944, the moon was nearly full. Imagine the glistening of that velvet sea, those gentle waves producing that surf, the slight reflections of metal from the weapons. Imagine the view of the jumpmasters looking down at the amphibious fleet below. It was 2300. The Normandy invasion would have exploded into full combat on that battlefield. Hundreds of C-47s dropping thousands of Allied troops. Of the 20 C-47s that departed North Witham, 19 returned. However, all those troops on board the one that never returned were rescued as the aircraft crashed into the sea. We must never forget these brave men who had a nickname, the Suicide Squad. They really had a slim chance of survival. First, an unarmed troop carrier. Going into the battlefield is one risk, but surviving until your feet hit that ground is another. But then, as soon as your feet touch that battlefield, as soon as your feet touch enemy lines, it is time. On the 1st of June 1945, the station was handed over to No. 40 Group RAF Maintenance Command.